Welcome to the Cyber Defense Podcast. My name is Himanshu and I'll be your host. And in today's podcast, we're going to talk about a very important topic, that is the endpoint detection response. In short, we sometimes call it as EDR. Now, while the traditional network parameter has for some time been extended to include a large number of different endpoints, many organizations are still struggle to put proper security protocols in place to protect them. And whenever security controls are lacking, the attackers rejoice. I read a one research paper which has conducted a study which said that the 30% of IT professionals don't know how many endpoints there are in their organizations. And those who do not know report an average of 750 endpoints. And that's only the average. Many organizations have much greater number of endpoints, and maintaining visibility and security controls over each proves a very difficult challenge. Now, when we consider all the major attacks against the endpoints which are happening these days, it clearly portrays that the traditional methods of endpoint security aren't working for the current IT environments. So that is why the EDR becomes a very important topic that needs to be learned, that needs to be studied, and that needs to be protected in depth so that these data breaches and the cyber breaches which are happening these days can be reduced. So let's try and understand what exactly are endpoints. Endpoints are physical devices that, you guess it right, the endpoints are on a network. They are connected devices that all of the users on the network use. Their numbers keep growing. More and more organizations use different devices to carry out different tasks. And with the current switch to working remotely and users accessing the network from all possible devices, both professional and personal. Considering all this, we don't foresee the growth of endpoints slowing down in near future. Now, some of the common endpoint devices can be like desktop computers, laptops, mobile devices, the Internet of Things, or in short, IoT devices, the tablets, workstations, and servers. Now, this is all about the endpoint. Now, what actually meant by the endpoint security? The endpoint security refers to the practice of securing endpoints of end user device to ensure protection against cyber threats and risks. The endpoint security services include those commonly used in enterprise environments as well as those used in a consumer and private network environment, such as antivirus solutions, firewalls, web and email filtering. Although these are all considered endpoint security services, endpoint security has evolved from those more traditional solutions to providing more comprehensive protection against advanced malware and zero-day attacks. Endpoint security plays an important role in organizations of all sizes. It helps them protect critical systems and sensitive and proprietary information and make sure all users on the network, including employees and customers, are protected from cyber attacks. Endpoint security works by allowing security teams visibility into the organization's endpoints and is designed to defend against physical and digital attacks, analyze traffic and files shared to and from these devices in real time, and detect, protect, and prevent against different types of cybersecurity threats. Now, the most important thing that we need to understand is the most common attack vectors in the endpoint security. The endpoints are vast, and each of them can be a viable point of entry for attackers. Some of the frequently forgotten ones, like the fax machine, can be easily exploited, especially when they lack appropriate protection measures. And the attack vectors in endpoint security are as vast as the number of endpoints themselves. Now let's understand this thing with the help of the few examples. The very first thing is employees. Employees are your most valuable assets, your people, and is also the most dangerous link in the security chain and presents a big risk to your endpoint security. Devices are endpoints and used by people, which means they can also be abused by them, whether with a malicious intent or merely resulting from a moment of negligence. And as we have talked before, the one factor adding to the possibility of a weak endpoint security is the involvement of remote employees. The remote employees log onto the organization's network from outside the premises, opening up more entry points for malwares to get into the network. The only sure way to get your team and all your employees to participate in endpoint security and prevent them from overturning it is to ensure they get appropriate cybersecurity training. The part of this is by maintaining a strong, sustainable cybersecurity culture in the workplace. This is achieved through showing what the implications of the bad security posture means for the entire organization and its members, as well as making it accessible and easily understood by even non security folks. The next example that we can take is regarding the BYOD policies. More and more organizations continue to establish bring your own device policies in the workplace. These policies provide employees with the comfort of working on their own devices and benefit organizations by lessening the need for on premises devices. While this new culture is widely embraced, it does bring with it certain cybersecurity risks. Mobile devices are one of the most common attack vectors in endpoint security, and BYOD policies increases the presence of mobile devices and unsecured private laptops. Private devices don't usually aren't following security practices and policies and can go unprotected for months while employees use them to access an organization's premises and network. They reduces the visibility of the devices on a network as well as the visibility of data going in and out of those devices. Fortunately, the endpoint security solution enforces data loss preventions and increased visibility over all devices accessing the network, and can even enforce data encryptions such that only authorized user can access it. The next example that we can take is regarding the IoT devices. Trying right into the BYOD policies, IoT or Internet of Things devices are slowly becoming one of the most common attack vectors in endpoint security for organizations. Many reports cited that by 2025, more than 75 billion IoT devices will be connected to the web. These devices rarely have a security measures, protections, or frequent updates on their software and firmware. With this rise in both consumer and enterprise IoT devices, it's easy to see how easily they become entry point for attackers trying to penetrate an organization's network. A significant component of endpoint security is adding visibility into network connected IoT devices, along with providing a patch management to ensure any updates for the firmware and software are applied in a timely manner. Another thing that I want to talk about is the role of applications. We all need numerous applications to execute our everyday tasks. It's unavoidable for any professional role. Employees often download the apps they need from different sources, but they do it without consulting with a security team or considering the policies governing the downloading of an application. So, if a suspicious source is used to install these applications without alerting the security team, attackers can gain access to the network and move through the network undetected. Enforcing clear and continuously monitored security policies around installing new application on an organization's endpoint will ensure that no application of suspicious origin makes its way onto the device. Additionally, pre-approved sources for any applications can be provided to let employees know where they can turn if in need of a new app on their device. Now we know about the endpoint, and we also know about the endpoint security. So what does actually means by the endpoint detection and response (EDR)? Remember when we mentioned that the antivirus, firewall, and the web filtering are considered endpoint security solutions, while the practice has evolved into referring to more advanced and sophisticated methods of protecting endpoints. We were actually talking about the endpoint detection and response, or EDR. The term was first coined by the Anton Chwakin in 2013 at Gartner to refer to security solutions that were emerging at the time, tools that primarily focused on detecting and investigating suspicious activities and other problems on endpoints. Endpoints detection and response tools are designed to complement the traditional endpoint security methods with a focus on detection, investigation, and response capabilities. Moreover, the EDR tool focuses on enhancing an organization's visibility into their endpoints and securing the network. By using a centralized management system, organization can not only improve their visibility but also their responses times, especially to the zero-day and advanced persistent threats, which is exactly where traditional solutions fall short. Most of today's sophisticated threats are able to evade perimeter defenses quite easily, and traditional endpoint security solutions and antivirus software are limited to detecting threats by already known signatures. EDR solutions, however, use a predictive analysis and advanced threat detection to detect new threats. EDR solutions detect threats across an organization's environment and investigate the life cycle of each threat. This provides insights into how the threat evaded defenses, where it entered, how it's behaving in the network, how to triage it, and how to stop it. These solutions then contain the threat at the endpoint, preventing it from spreading across the system and wreaking havoc on the critical parts of the system. Some of the key capabilities of the effective EDR solutions include suspicious activity detection, security incident investigations, alert triage and suspicious activity validation, as well as a threat hunting and the ability to stop malicious activity where it's detected. Now let us understand the benefits of the EDR. EDR solutions are vast with numerous capabilities. They also offer a number of different features that improve an organization's resilience to cyber attacks, with benefits that may include the integration with other tools, visibility into your environment, assess and react to security incident, and prevent cyber attacks. Now when we talk about the integration with other tools, the EDR solutions are versatile and compatible with other security tools in an organization's tool set. Integrating EDR solution with SIEM tools, threat intelligence feeds, security, malware analysis, and the like provides an all-encompassing network defense. EDR solution can also be integrated into the DevOps cycles so developers can hunt down security threats and tackle them as quickly as possible. It's tremendously important to implement an EDR solution for network defenses, as EDR is just that, a tool to protect your network perimeter and not the entire system. So that's why it's crucial to integrate EDR with other security solutions that go beyond the network, such as encryption tools. Similarly, the EDR helps us to increase the visibility into our environment. We mentioned that one of the key components of the endpoint detection and response tooling is the increased visibility, across all endpoints on an organization's network. To meet business requirements, organizations have expanded their networks with endpoints that number in the hundreds or thousands. And a great perimeter and attack surface means that malicious attackers have a great number of entry points to the network. EDR solutions are able to meet the demands of a large networks. They monitor all endpoints in real time, providing visibility into activity and data movements across the entire perimeter. Now, this effort provides the security teams with intel on a given threat and the attackers involved as they attempt to penetrate the network, empowering the team to stop the attackers at the entry point. Similarly, one of the best benefits it can provide is that the ability to assess and react to security incidents. As we have talked before, the security teams can discover threats at their point of entry. Additionally, this means they can also investigate the threat, see how it was able to get to the endpoint, how it got in, what it was doing inside the network, and at the same time, the triage the threat and preventing it from causing any real damage to the network. EDR solutions are also designed to automate data collection and gain contextual information about security incidents and their origin, and quickly take appropriate steps to react to them. With better insight and improved reactivity to security incidents, security teams are now able to develop more effective incident response practices, which are continuously updated with the latest data on potential threats. This knowledge allows security teams to identify threats while still in their initial phases in the network environment. Once obtained, this forensic data is further used to empower EDR tools to help in future investigations. And most importantly, an effective EDR solution offers the prevention of cyber attacks while equipping organizations to properly respond to unknown threats by using the behavioral analysis of all network traffic. These techniques allow EDR solution to go further than traditional perimeter and endpoint solutions that can detect zero-day and unfamiliar threats. So finally, I would say that it's often said that the perimeter is going away. And that's true in the sense that what has worked in the past, what's considered traditionally endpoint security, just isn't cutting it for a modern enterprise. And this is why the next generation solution in the form of the endpoint detection and response tool are needed for any organization that desires a multi-layered and a complete system of network defense. Remember that the EDR solutions are only focused on endpoints. That alone isn't enough to protect against sophisticated threats. So introducing and integrating this variety of tool is the one step in the right direction as an important complement to your security defenses. Endpoints aren't the only part of your network which requires a visibility. The external assessments provides visibility and monitoring across all digital assets and shadow infrastructure in order to get a jump on threats and eliminate risk. You can contact us anytime if you want to have more information regarding this. Moreover, if you want to know the security rating of your organization, which includes the cyber reputation, cyber transparency, and cyber health, we are always there to assist you at free of cost. Thanks for connecting with me on the podcast, and I'll be back very soon with a new content. And ultimately, our main goal is to make you secure. Till that time, may the force be with you.